Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, along here with Beau, and we're back for another review of WandaVision.
Episode 4. We interrupt this program. And it definitely was an interruption. I mean, it starts with the ultimate interruption, which was the Thanos snap. And just getting more perspective on the world post the snap, where everyone's kind of returning and all the chaos. We saw a bit of that from Far From Home, but it was a solid cold opening.
Yeah, it was a different perspective. I mean, Far From Home was a little more comical.
Right.
They had some moments too when they get reunited, but this one was real heavy at first, where Monica comes back and she has hospitals in chaos, and she finds out that her mother passed while she was gone.
Max capacity hospitals? Hey, that relates to the real world, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like you said, Far From Home, more comedic. This was more traumatic. Feeling that you just fell asleep while you're waiting for your mother to wake up from her cancer surgery, not realizing that 5 years have passed. And for that character to be put in this type of situation, like you said, just getting the human perspective, the perspective on the ground rather than the cosmic perspective that we saw from the movie. And and like we said, this is a character that we even got the Captain Marvel voice, Brie Larson's dialogue from the movie, referencing that this character always wanted to be an explorer. And we see that she actually did work for the organization that's not Hydra, it's SWORD. And it's an organization that deals with extraterrestrial threats, and her mom was the founder. So we always see a lot of that in Marvel. It's the kid trying to live up to the parents' legacy with like Stark and his father. So all that stuff was very interesting, and she's very much kind of the focus of the beginning of this episode, introducing us to SWORD.
Yeah, and it was a nice change of pace from the sitcom episodes that we've gotten prior. This was a big, take a step back and let's view everything going on the outside world and get a different perspective on what's going on here.
Right,
and
bringing everybody together, forming that kind of science super team. We see the return to Darcy, and she says that if we're all scientists from different fields, that has to mean one thing, that they have no idea what's going on. And they clearly don't, even bringing back Randall Park as Jimmy Woo. That was cool to see him.
Yeah,
an Ant-Man alum.
Yeah, it's got a little Ant-Man, a little Thor.
Right, and when they played the audio from the radio, you realize, okay, that was Randall Park.
Yeah, that was the most interesting thing, just seeing how they're viewing what's going on in Wanda's own world, and kind of how they explain some of those breaks in reality with the radio and the beekeeper, who turns out to be the agent they put inside, and even the helicopter, which we know now is a drone, and Wanda's kind of manipulating things to fit in her world that she created.
Yeah, it was, at first I was wondering, how did people not realize that an entire town has gone missing? But it looks like that she essentially kidnapped everyone in Westview. She kind of surrounded them in her own shimmer, similar to Annihilation, and also wiped the memories of their relatives or anyone who would know them. So even the sheriff, who's from Eastview, he doesn't even think that Westview exists as a town. So it's not only this kind of digital supernatural cloak that these people are under, but she's manipulating others as well that aren't even in the area. And it was cool to see the way how they put it all together. What was the helicopter, the beekeeper going under the sewers thinking that he won't be affected, and we see how all these different things, all these little hints they were giving us is actually the outside world trying to infiltrate this world, this made up world.
And Monica literally is infiltrating, she's the one that goes into the, I don't even know what to call it.
Wanda's world. The sitcom world.
Yeah, and she's kind of trying to, I guess she was cognizant of everything that's going on, and she was just trying to, get more information and try to figure it out and play along with everything. But
good move by her.
Yeah.
To put those pieces together and realize, okay, something wacky is going on here. Let me play along to see if I can. And even Jimmy Woo's character says, why would she play along? Is she under threat? Or what type of information is she even trying to gain? So just all that confusion there. And it felt like maybe it was a little subconscious that she brings up the Ultron line to Wanda, and they mentioned that was the first reference to the real world that they've seen in this sitcom world. And I wonder if she just kind of just breaks, where reality seeps in, and then Wanda realizes, okay, this is an outsider. This isn't one of mine that I brought here on my own. But Wanda was, she could be seen as the antagonist almost of this story.
Yeah.
Not the best way to deal with trauma, right?
No.
She's definitely running from her problems.
Yeah.
I mean, even when Vision appears as he
they
did.
should have a therapist, on retainer for the Avengers. They all need it. They're all fucked up.
Dude, the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, that's basically the point of that anime, is that superheroes need therapy. desperately when you get put in these situations.
I need therapy.
We all, yeah. My parents.
I do nothing, and I need therapy.
Right, yeah.
They're like dealing with existential threats on a daily basis.
You talk about comic book movies, and you're like, Doc, I'm going through it. And when she sees Vision with the face, with the messed up face, with the broken skull, you can see that she's just repressing all of this. That it's a split second that she's reminded of what happened to him. And that's interesting because they even say, didn't he die?
Yeah.
Darcy's like, he's dead. Like, he's dead. He wasn't snapped and brought back. He's just dead.
I do like how they know like all the details like from the movies.
Right.
It's
yeah,
made public. I wonder if like she just took his dead ass body and is just like weakening at Bernie's him with her mind and is like portraying him. If you took everything away, it's just gray Vision. And then she's kind of manipulating a situation where she views him because obviously she's able to shift other things.
Yeah, she's changing the color.
Make them look different. So what if she's doing that to Vision? That's super fucked up.
Yeah, and you wonder if Vision is still there. The real Vision is kind of inside of that body. And this is how she does bring him back. Maybe it's just an accidental. Because whatever she's doing with the, they talk about CMBR, the cosmic microwave background radiation, which goes back to the Big Bang.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, of course, right? Like they mentioned it. I like when Tyler Hayward, the new director of S.W.O.R.D., he knows it right away. It's like, oh, look at the big brain on the new director. Keep an eye out on him because I don't trust him.
Yeah,
I never trust acting directors. But you wonder if, because how they explained it is that the universe.
You're saying you don't trust like Jon Favreau?
No, I trust director actors.
Okay.
I just don't trust acting directors.
Ah, gotcha.
Because they didn't earn that position. She even says you were the only one. And of course, with the Skrulls as well, we don't know who can be a Skrull if they're going to go that route. I think they will. But the way that their theory was that the universe created an alternate reality that's a sitcom world, which we can probably say it wasn't the universe. It was a combination of the universe and Wanda's powers. And maybe that she's that powerful where she can create a new Big Bang that creates an alternate reality that connects to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because they've came out and said that this show and that movie are going to be connected.
Yeah.
So it was a good way to kind of pull back the curtain, but presenting new theories for us to discuss on these reviews.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see too. We saw with Monica, like, when they were viewing the TV show with Monica, like there was a different scene that we never seen before. So It's kind of like they're just always in this world. It's like more than what we see. Like, you ever wonder like what happens in television? Like when you're not watching, like what are these people doing?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So
the television universe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just brought up a lot of new questions, a little bit of some answers, but you could see on Agent Woo's like whiteboard, he has the same questions as we do.
They were basically trying to figure out the show.
Yeah.
That was funny. And, the organization S.W.O.R.D., it deals with, the acronym is about sentient weapons. So even Stark, going back to Civil War, refers to Wanda and Hulk as weapons of mass destruction. When you factor in the children, that's another interesting thing, is that everyone in this world already existed. But the kids, they seem to be real. Seem to be real babies.
Well, in Vision too, he seems to be acting on his own accord. If he was really a manifestation of Wanda's vision, Wanda's mind,
it could be her subconscious almost.
Maybe
telling her, "Let's come back to the world. We need to face this."
That's actually a good idea. That's interesting.
But we all want Vision to come back, right? That's the thing.
I like Vision now.
Yeah, I like Vision now. I liked him in the past, and he's such an important character in the comics, such an important character to Wanda. But yeah, we'll see how they go with that. But the babies, man, are. I'm assuming that's what's going to be the focus next week, because we've kind of seen those set photos where we've seen them in different environments raising them. Yeah,
I wonder too, like Speed and Wiccan. I mean, they're obviously setting up a new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, right? And kind of there are pieces there for maybe a Young Avengers. So this could be these characters, if they are real and if they do exist, that could be like a nice little startup for something they do down the line with these characters.
Right. The editing in this episode,
I really like. I was just going to bring that up. I liked when they go to back to the 70s world, but the aspect ratio it's a widescreen.
Right.
And it's obviously modern, like HD.
Right,
it looks good. And then they kind of do this thing where they flip it back to the old 70s and they go back to the wide. It's really It was really interesting.
Yeah, and also the edits when she's making changes to the world. They're a bit disturbing. I had to keep rewinding and coming to the realization that something about this tape is being censored. And then you see what she actually does to Monica, where she looks like a villain. Just throws her out of that sitcom world. Yeah, and like we said, with all the changes that she's able to make, once you go past that type of digital wall, that your outfit can change, the color of your clothes can change, everything can be changed. So you know that some sort of, I don't want to call it cataclysmic, but a big, possibly a second Big Bang is going to occur, and it's going to be Wanda, like Brian and Stewie, Family Guy, when they made the new universe.
The universe created me, so I could create it, so it could create me, and so on.
And what I mostly appreciated about this episode was kind of the juxtaposition between a person who experiences loss and throws himself in their work, throws himself back into reality. The director said that he wasn't surprised that Monica was the first one to show up after everyone returned from the blip. And then you have Wanda, who is someone who not only can't she face her reality, but she has to create an entirely different one to kind of deal with the trauma that she's experiencing. So they definitely did a good job of kind of portraying these two different responses to loss, and also giving us more to dive into when it comes to theories and all that good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting intrigue surrounding all this. I mean, what's their plan? What are they? I guess they're just trying to, at this point, just trying to figure out what's going on, maybe save Wanda or see if there's anything else at play here, because they got to be, originally they're under the assumption, they know Wanda, right? They know she's an Avenger, she knows she's one of the good guys, but after what happened to Monica, I think that they might be a little suspicious. Maybe they'll try to stop her. That could be where the director comes in and is like, we need to kill Wanda or something before something happens.
Could be one of those.
Yeah.
Similar. I mean, Hulk has been through that a lot. So, and Wanda too. She's one of the main catalysts of the Sokovia Accords in Civil War. So yeah, no, she's definitely gonna have some problems, some run-ins with Sword in these future episodes. And now I'm even more excited, because I think them pulling back the curtain, showing us Sword, I want to see what everyone's angle is.
It was also funny too, watching them watch the show that we're watching.
Right? Yeah, Darcy was really into it.
Yeah,
and we just talked about how terribly written she was in Thor 2. Just the worst example of comic relief. And in this episode, she was much better, much funnier, more charming than I think she was in her last appearance. So it was good to get her back.
Yeah, she works well with Randall Park too, Kat Denning. So.
Oh, they're definitely gonna bang, right? They kind of foreshadowed that, right? Well, she offered him chips.
You know what they say.
Once you put your hand in that bag, it's hard to get it out.
Well, I think she's still banging the intern, right? From Thor 2?
No, definitely not. Come on. He got blipped. Actually, no, now he's back. That's going to be a subplot.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little love triangle.
I haven't really looked at many theories on what happened in this episode or any foreshadowing, but this is definitely one that I think it excited me for the rest of the series. I'm sure we're going to get more and more information about what's going on and more looks into what's going on in Wanda's world and the outside world, and I think for the next 5 episodes, it's just going to get crazier and crazier. So, and before we go, just a quick reminder that you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NerdSoup and at NerdSoupMonkey for a chance to win our January giveaway.
Yeah, you just have to follow the main accounts. I like how you threw yourself in there, but just NerdSoup.
No,
you follow NerdSoup Monkey for the hell of it, right?
I am really good on Twitter.
Yes, you've told us.
What do they win?
It's on the screen.
Oh.